Dogs and humans have shared an extraordinary partnership for over 15,000 years, creating one of the most remarkable interspecies relationships in history. Throughout this journey, our canine companions have developed an intricate communication system that rivals human language in its complexity and nuance. Unlike humans, who rely heavily on verbal communication, dogs express themselves through a sophisticated array of physical signals, vocalizations, and behavioral patterns that form their unique language. This silent conversation happens constantly around us. Every moment spent with a dog involves thousands of micro-communications, the subtle shift of weight from one paw to another, the barely perceptible change in ear position, the gentle curve of a tail, or the intensity behind a glance. These signals are not random movements, but carefully orchestrated expressions of internal states, emotions, needs, and intentions. Understanding this language is not merely an academic exercise. It's fundamental to building meaningful relationships with dogs. When we learn to read their signals accurately, we can respond appropriately to their needs, prevent behavioral problems before they escalate, and create an environment of mutual trust and respect. This understanding transforms our interactions from one-sided human interpretations to genuine two-way communication. The journey into canine body language requires us to abandon human-centric perspectives and embrace the dog's worldview. We must recognize that their communication system evolved from different evolutionary pressures and serves different purposes than human language. Where humans use words to convey abstract concepts, dogs use their entire bodies to communicate immediate, practical information about their emotional state, intentions, and environmental assessments. Evolutionary foundations. To truly understand modern dog communication, we must first explore its evolutionary origins. Dogs descended from wolves approximately 40,000 years ago, and despite thousands of years of domestication, they retain many of the communication patterns that helped their ancestors survive in wild pack environments. In wolf society, clear communication was literally a matter of life and death. Misreading a pack leader's signals could result in serious injury or death, while failing to communicate submission could lead to exile from the pack, essentially a death sentence in the wild. This evolutionary pressure created an incredibly sophisticated system of nonverbal communication that prioritized clarity, immediacy, and unambiguous meaning. The pack structure of wolves required complex social negotiations. Every interaction involved assessments of rank, territory, resources, and social relationships. Wolves developed ritualized behaviors that could diffuse tension, establish hierarchy, negotiate access to resources, and coordinate group activities, all without the benefit of verbal language. These same patterns persist in modern dogs, though they've been modified by domestication and selective breeding. Domestication added another layer to this communication system. As dogs adapted to life with humans, they developed new signals specifically designed to communicate across species lines. Dogs learned to read human facial expressions, body language, and vocal patterns with remarkable accuracy. Simultaneously, they modified their own communication patterns to be more readable by humans. This co-evolution of communication has created the remarkable interspecies understanding we see today. However, domestication also created challenges. Modern dogs often live in environments vastly different from their evolutionary origins. They may be isolated from other dogs, confined to small spaces, or exposed to stimuli their ancestors never encountered. These conditions can create stress, confusion, and behavioral problems that manifest through changes in body language and communication patterns. Understanding this evolutionary context helps explain why certain behaviors persist even when they seem inappropriate for modern life. A dog who resource guards food isn't being aggressive in human terms. They're following ancient survival instincts that once meant the difference between life and death. Similarly, submissive urination isn't a housebreaking problem, but an evolutionary holdover from appeasing dominant pack members. The science of canine emotion. Modern research has revolutionized our understanding of dog emotions, revealing that canines experience a rich emotional life that includes joy, fear, anger, anxiety, excitement, contentment, and even complex emotions like jealousy and grief. This emotional capacity is supported by neurological structures remarkably similar to those found in humans. Brain imaging studies show that dogs have a well-developed limbic system, the brain region associated with emotional processing. Their brains produce the same neurochemicals associated with emotions in humans, including dopamine as associated with pleasure and reward, serotonin a link to mood regulation, cortisol released during stress, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone, released during positive social interactions. The emotional development of dogs follows predictable patterns. Puppies are born with basic emotional responses but develop more complex emotions as their brains mature. Fear periods, socialization windows, and adolescent behavioral changes all reflect neurological development patterns that influence how dogs communicate and interpret the world around them. Research has also revealed that dogs experience emotions differently than humans in several key ways. Their emotional responses are typically more immediate and less complex than human emotions. While humans can experience conflicted feelings or engage in complex emotional reasoning, dogs tend to experience emotions as direct responses to immediate circumstances. This doesn't make their emotions less valid. It simply means they process and express emotions differently. The discovery of mirror neurons in dogs has added another dimension to our understanding of their emotional lives. These specialized brain cells fire both when a dog performs an action and when they observe another dog's or human performing the same action. This neurological mechanism may explain dogs' remarkable ability to read human emotions and their tendency to mirror their owner's emotional states. Understanding the science of canine emotion helps explain why body language reading is so crucial. Since dogs experience genuine emotions but cannot verbally communicate their feelings, their body language becomes the primary window into their emotional state. Every physical signal reflects an internal emotional reality that deserves recognition and respect. Tail language. The tail is often called a dog's emotional barometer, and for good reason. This expressive appendage provides a constant stream of information about a dog's internal state, but interpreting tail language requires understanding its subtleties and context. Position and movement patterns. The natural position of a dog's tail varies by breed, but deviations from this neutral position carry significant meaning. A tail held high and rigid often indicates confidence, alertness, or potential aggression. This high tail position makes the dog appear larger and more imposing while broadcasting confidence to others. However, a tail that's too high and stiff can signal over arousal or anxiety rather than genuine confidence. Conversely, a tail tucked between the legs indicates fear, anxiety, or submission. This position makes the dog appear smaller and less threatening while also covering the anal glands, which reduces scent communication, essentially making the dog invisible to others. The degree of tucking provides information about the intensity of the emotion. A slightly lowered tail might indicate mild uncertainty, while a tail clamped tightly against the belly suggests intense fear. The neutral position, where the tail hangs relaxed from its natural attachment point, indicates a calm, comfortable emotional state. This position allows for quick movement in any direction and suggests the dog is neither aroused nor anxious, but simply existing in a state of relaxed awareness. Speed and amplitude of wagging. The speed and amplitude of tail wagging provide crucial context for interpretation. A slow, deliberate wag often indicates uncertainty or cautious interest. The dog is processing information and hasn't yet committed to a particular emotional response. This type of wagging is common when dogs encounter new situations or people. Fast, energetic wagging typically indicates high arousal, which could be positive excitement, joy, or negative the frustration, aggression. The key is to look at the rest of the body language to determine whether the arousal is positive or negative. A fast wag combined with a relaxed body posture suggests excitement, while a fast wag with a stiff body might indicate frustration or potential aggression. The amplitude, how wide the tail swings, also carries meaning. A full body wag that moves the entire rear end indicates genuine joy and excitement. These helicopter wags are unmistakably positive and often occur during greetings with beloved family members. Narrow, tight wags suggest more controlled or uncertain emotions. Directional preferences. Recent research has revealed that dogs show directional preferences in their tail wagging that correlate with emotional states. Wags that favor the right side of the body, as from the dog's perspective, tend to indicate positive emotions, while left-sided wags may suggest negative emotions. This lateralization reflects brain hemisphere activation patterns similar to those found in humans. However, this directional preference is subtle and requires careful observation. It's not always visible to casual observers and should be considered alongside other body language signals rather than as a standalone indicator. Breed considerations. Different breeds present unique challenges in tail reading due to selective breeding that has altered natural tail positions and movements. Dogs with naturally curled tails, like pugs or Shiba Inus, may show different baseline positions than dogs with straight tails. Breeds with docked tails have limited tail language, requiring greater attention to other body parts for emotional communication. Some breeds have been bred for specific tail positions that may not reflect their true emotional state. German Shepherds naturally carry their tails low, while many terrier breeds carry theirs high. Understanding breed-specific tail positions is crucial for accurate interpretation. Ear communication. The radar of emotion. Ears serve as highly sensitive radar systems that provide information about both external awareness and internal emotional states. The mobility and expressiveness of dog ears make them one of the most reliable indicators of mood and attention. Ear positions and their meanings. Forward-pointing ears indicate alertness, interest, and focused attention. This position allows maximum sound collection and suggests the dog is actively processing environmental information. When ears are pricked forward, the dog is typically engaged with something in their environment and ready to respond. Ears pinned back against the head suggest fear, anxiety, or submission. This position protects the ears from potential damage during conflicts, while also reducing the dog's apparent size. The degree of flattening correlates with the intensity of the emotion. Slightly back ears might indicate mild concern, while ears plastered against the skull suggest intense fear. Relaxed ears in their natural position indicate a calm, comfortable emotional state. The ears appear soft and mobile, able to move independently to track sounds without creating a fixed, intense expression. One ear forward and one back often indicates conflicted emotions or divided attention. The dog may be simultaneously interested in one thing while concerned about another, creating this asymmetrical ear position. Movement patterns. The speed and pattern of ear movements provide additional information about emotional states. Rapid, frequent ear movements suggest high alertness or anxiety as the dog tries to monitor multiple potential threats or points of interest simultaneously. Slow, deliberate ear movements typically indicate calm assessment of the environment. The dog is aware but not alarmed, using their ears to gather information without urgency. Ears that swivel independently demonstrate the dog's ability to monitor multiple stimuli simultaneously. This behavior is common in relaxed but aware dogs who want to stay informed about their environment without becoming fixated on any particular stimulus. Breed, specific considerations. Ear shape and mobility vary dramatically between breeds, affecting their communicative capacity. Breeds with erect, mobile ears like German Shepherds or Belgian Malinois have maximum expressive range, while breeds with heavy, pendulous ears like Bloodhounds or Basset Hounds have limited ear mobility. However, even dogs with limited ear mobility show subtle changes in ear carriage that can be read by careful observers. The base of the ear, where it attaches to the head, often shows tension changes that reflect emotional states, even when the ear itself cannot move dramatically. Cropped ears present interpretation challenges since the surgical alteration affects natural ear carriage and movement patterns. Dogs with cropped ears rely more heavily on other body parts for communication, making it essential to read their entire body language rather than focusing on ears alone. Eye contact and facial expressions. The eyes and surrounding facial structures provide intimate access to a dog's emotional state, but interpreting these signals requires understanding the significant differences between human and canine eye communication patterns. The complexity of eye contact. Direct eye contact carries different meanings in dog communication than in human interaction. Among dogs, direct stares often represent challenges or threats, particularly between unfamiliar individuals. This behavior stems from evolutionary patterns where direct eye contact preceded aggressive encounters. However, dogs have learned to modify their eye contact patterns when interacting with humans. Many dogs develop the ability to make soft, brief eye contact with trusted humans as a way of communicating affection, seeking attention, or requesting assistance. This learned behavior represents a remarkable adaptation to interspecies communication. The key distinction lies in the quality and context of the eye contact. Hard, fixed stares with tense facial muscles typically indicate aggression or intense focus, while soft, relaxed eye contact with frequent breaks suggests affection or communication attempts. Facial muscle patterns. The muscles around a dog's eyes provide subtle but important communication signals. Tension in the facial muscles, particularly around the eyes, often indicates stress, anxiety, or aggression. This tension may manifest as a hard expression with tight skin around the eyes and forehead. Relaxed facial muscles create a soft expression that indicates comfort, contentment, or affection. The skin around the eyes appears loose and mobile, and the overall expression seems open and approachable. Some dogs develop specific facial expressions for human communication, including what researchers call puppy dog eyes, a combination of raised eyebrows and large, soft eyes that effectively elicits human caretaking responses. While eye and stress signals. While eye, when the whites of a dog's eyes become visible, is a reliable indicator of stress, anxiety, or discomfort. This occurs when a dog turns their head away from a stimulus while keeping their eyes fixed on it, creating a crescent of visible white. Well eye often appears in situations where dogs feel trapped, overwhelmed, or uncertain. It's a subtle but important early warning sign that the dog is experiencing emotional distress and may need assistance or space to recover. Blinking and eye movement patterns. The pattern and frequency of blinking provide information about emotional states. Slow, deliberate blinks often indicate relaxation and contentment, similar to the slow blinks that cats use to communicate affection. Rapid blinking or eye darting suggest anxiety, overstimulation, or conflict. Dogs experiencing stress often show increased eye movement as they try to monitor multiple potential threats simultaneously. Hard stares without blinking typically indicate intense focus, aggression, or predatory behavior. This pattern is common in dogs fixated on prey animals or engaged in serious conflicts with other dogs. Mouth and vocalization patterns. The mouth serves dual purposes in canine communication, producing vocalizations and displaying visual signals through lip position, tongue activity, and jaw tension. Understanding both aspects provides crucial insight into emotional states. Lip positions and tensions. Relaxed lips in their natural position indicate comfort and emotional neutrality. The lips appear soft and mobile, neither pulled back nor pursed forward, suggesting the dog is neither threatened nor threatening. Lips pulled back to expose teeth can indicate several different emotional states depending on context. In combination with other aggressive signals, exposed teeth represent a clear threat. However, some dogs pull back their lips in a submissive grin when greeting humans, creating a superficially similar appearance with entirely different meaning. Tight, pursed lips often indicate tension, concentration, or mild stress. This position may appear when dogs are working through challenging training exercises or encountering mildly stressful situations. Tongue signals. Tongue activity provides information about both emotional state and physiological condition. A relaxed tongue hanging naturally from a slightly open mouth indicates comfort and normal respiratory function. Rapid tongue flicking or lip licking often represents stress signals rather than hunger or thirst. Dogs use these calming signals to self-soothe and communicate peaceful intentions to others. Excessive lip licking may indicate anxiety, nausea, or anticipation. Tongue position during panting provides information about emotional arousal. Heavy panting with the tongue extended far from the mouth may indicate stress, excitement, or overheating, while gentle panting with a shorter tongue extension typically suggests mild arousal or normal thermoregulation. Yawning as communication. Yawning serves multiple functions in dog communication beyond indicating tiredness. Stress-induced yawning helps dogs self-regulate during overwhelming situations while also communicating their peaceful intentions to others. Context determines whether yawning indicates tiredness or stress. Yawning during relaxing activities likely indicates sleepiness, while yawning during training sessions, vet visits, or social encounters may represent stress responses. Some dogs use yawning as an appeasement gesture when they've violated social rules or made mistakes. This behavior may represent an attempt to diffuse tension and restore social harmony. Vocalization patterns. Dogs produce a remarkable range of vocalizations, each carrying specific meanings that vary based on pitch, duration, volume, and context. Barking represents the most variable vocal communication, with different bark types serving distinct functions. Alert barks are typically sharp, brief, and repetitive, designed to notify pack members of potential threats. Play barks are often higher-pitched and more musical, accompanying physical play behaviors. Demand barks tend to be persistent and may increase in volume until the desired response is achieved. Growling serves as an important warning system, but context determines its meaning. Aggressive growls are typically low-pitched, sustained, and accompanied by tense body language. Play growls are often higher-pitched and intermittent, occurring during games without accompanying threat signals. Some dogs use talking growls during positive interactions with humans, creating sounds that resemble growling but lack threatening intent. Whining usually indicates distress, excitement, or attention-seeking behavior. High-pitched whines often suggest anxiety or frustration, while lower-pitched whines may indicate anticipation or mild distress. The persistence and context of whining help determine its specific meaning. Howling connects dogs to their wolf ancestry and serves various communication functions. Some dogs howl in response to sirens or music, possibly due to acoustic triggers that remind them of pack vocalizations. Others howl when separated from family members, expressing loneliness or attempting to locate their pack. Posture and body orientation. A dog's overall posture and body orientation provide comprehensive information about their emotional state, intentions, and assessment of their environment. These signals often override conflicting messages from individual body parts. Confident postures. Confident dogs typically display balanced, upright postures with their weight evenly distributed across all four legs. The head is held at a natural height or slightly elevated, the chest appears open and expanded, and the overall silhouette suggests readiness and self-assurance. The confident dog's body appears neither tense nor relaxed, but rather alert and responsive. They can move quickly in any direction and seem prepared to engage with environmental challenges without anxiety or hesitation. However, overconfidence can manifest as rigidity or excessive height, where the dog appears inflated or artificially large. This posture may indicate arousal that could escalate into aggression if not properly managed. Submissive and fearful postures. Submissive postures make dogs appear smaller and less threatening through various body modifications. The head may be lowered, the body crouched closer to the ground, and the overall silhouette compressed to minimize apparent size. Active submission includes behaviors like rolling over to expose the belly, approaching in a low, crouched position, or performing exaggerated greeting behaviors. These postures communicate peaceful intentions and deference to more dominant individuals. Fearful postures share some similarities with submission, but include additional elements like trembling, excessive panting, or attempts to hide or escape. The key difference lies in the motivation. Submission seeks to appease others, while fear seeks to avoid or escape perceived threats. Neutral and relaxed postures. Relaxed dogs display natural, comfortable postures that appear effortless and sustainable. The body position suggests alertness without tension, awareness without anxiety, and readiness without urgency. Weight distribution appears balanced and natural, with no particular emphasis on any limb or body region. The dog can shift positions easily and fluidly, suggesting both physical comfort and emotional contentment. Aggressive postures. Aggressive postures make dogs appear larger and more threatening through various body modifications. The chest may be pushed forward, the head raised high, and the overall silhouette expanded to create maximum visual impact. However, true aggression is relatively rare in well-socialized dogs and usually represents a last resort when other communication methods have failed. Most apparent aggression is actually defensive behavior aimed at creating distance rather than causing harm. Offensive aggression involves forward body movement, direct approach, and sustained threat signals. Defensive aggression includes backward lean, reluctance to approach, and threat signals designed to create distance rather than close it. Play behavior and social signals. Play represents one of the most complex and important aspects of canine communication, serving multiple functions including social bonding, stress relief, skill development, and joy expression. The play bow universal play signal. The play bow, where dogs lower their front end while keeping their rear elevated, serves as a universal signal that following behaviors should be interpreted as play rather than serious aggression. This ritualized posture allows dogs to engage in behaviors that might otherwise be threatening, such as chasing, mouthing, or wrestling. The play bow effectively, brackets, play sessions, appearing at the beginning of play and often repeated throughout to maintain the play context. Without these signals, the same behaviors could be interpreted as genuine aggression. Successful play requires constant communication between participants, with subtle signals maintaining the play context and preventing escalation into real conflict. Dogs who lack proper play signals often struggle with social interactions and may be avoided by other dogs. Play styles and individual differences. Different dogs prefer different play styles based on their breed, personality, age, and socialization experiences. Some dogs prefer physical contact games like wrestling, while others enjoy chase games that maintain distance between participants. Body slam players use their entire body as a play tool, bouncing off other dogs and using weight and momentum in their games. Chase players prefer running games with frequent role reversals. Mouth wrestlers focus on careful biting and grappling without causing harm. Understanding individual play preferences helps dog owners facilitate appropriate social interactions and prevent play from becoming too intense or mismatched between participants. Self-handicapping and fair play. Healthy play involves self-handicapping, where stronger or larger dogs voluntarily limit their power to maintain fair play with smaller or weaker partners. This might involve play bowing more frequently, lying down to reduce height advantage, or using gentler mouth pressure. Role reversals are common in healthy play, with chaser and chased, or top and bottom positions changing throughout the session. These reversals indicate that both participants are enjoying the interaction and maintaining voluntary participation. Stress signals and calming behaviors. Dogs have developed numerous strategies for managing stress and communicating their emotional needs to others. Recognizing these signals allows humans to provide appropriate support and prevent stress escalation. Displacement behaviors. Displacement behaviors occur when dogs experience conflicting motivations or moderate stress levels. These behaviors appear out of context and often involve normal maintenance activities performed at inappropriate times. Common displacement behaviors include scratching when not itchy, sniffing when no interesting odors are present, or grooming when not dirty. These behaviors help dogs self-regulate during stressful situations. Calming signals. Norwegian dog trainer Turid Rugas identified numerous calming signals that dogs use to reduce tension in social situations. These include yawning, lip-licking, turning away, walking in curves rather than straight lines, and lying down. These signals serve dual purposes. They help the signaling dog self-regulate while also communicating peaceful intentions to others. Dogs who lack proper calming signal recognition may struggle with social interactions. Stress accumulation and recovery. Stress is cumulative in dogs, with multiple small stressors potentially creating the same impact as one major stressor. Understanding this helps explain why dogs might react strongly to seemingly minor triggers after experiencing several stressful events. Recovery time varies between individuals and depends on factors like age, health, socialization, and stress tolerance. Providing appropriate recovery opportunities prevents stress accumulation and maintains emotional well-being. Environmental factors and context. Environmental context dramatically influences how dogs express and interpret body language signals. The same physical signal may have different meanings in different contexts. Location effects. Familiar environments typically allow for more relaxed communication, while novel environments may intensify all signals as dogs assess potential threats and opportunities. Confined spaces may increase stress and alter normal communication patterns, while open spaces typically allow for more natural expression of body language. Social context. The presence of other dogs, humans, or animals affects how individual dogs communicate. Pack dynamics, established relationships, and social hierarchies all influence signal interpretation. Dogs may show different communication patterns with family members versus strangers, requiring context-aware interpretation of their signals. Temporal factors, time of day, recent experiences, and physiological states all affect communication patterns. Tired dogs may show different signals than alert dogs, while hungry dogs may interpret environmental cues differently than satiated ones. Training and communication enhancement. Understanding dog body language enhances training effectiveness and strengthens the human-dog bond through improved communication. Positive reinforcement and body language. Positive reinforcement training works partly because it respects natural canine communication patterns and reduces stress signals that interfere with learning. Dogs in positive training environments show more relaxed body language and greater willingness to offer behaviors, creating a positive feedback loop that enhances learning. Reading training progress. Body language provides immediate feedback about training effectiveness, showing whether dogs understand expectations and feel comfortable with the learning process. Stress signals during training indicate the need for modified approaches, while relaxed, engaged body language suggests effective training methods. Special populations and considerations. Different groups of dogs may show modified communication patterns that require adjusted interpretation strategies. Senior dogs' aging affects mobility, sensory function, and cognitive processing, all of which impact communication patterns. Arthritis may limit normal posture options, while hearing or vision loss affects environmental awareness. Senior dogs may show increased stress signals in novel situations due to reduced confidence in their ability to assess and respond to environmental challenges. Rescue dogs from uncertain backgrounds may show atypical communication patterns due to incomplete socialization, traumatic experiences, or learned survival strategies. These dogs often benefit from patient, consistent interpretation of their signals while they learn to trust new environments and relationships. Working dogs bred and trained for specific work may show modified communication patterns related to their job functions. Herding dogs may display different eye contact patterns, while protection dogs may show different aggressive signals. Understanding breed-specific and training-specific modifications prevents misinterpretation of normal working behaviors. Building better relationships through understanding. Ultimately, learning to read dog body language transforms the human-dog relationship from one-sided human interpretation to genuine two-way communication. Developing observation skills. Improving body language reading skills requires patient observation, contextual thinking, and willingness to see situations from the dog's perspective. Responding appropriately. Understanding dog signals is only valuable if it leads to appropriate responses that address the dog's needs and emotions. Creating trust. Dogs who feel understood and appropriately responded to develop stronger bonds with their humans and show more confident, relaxed communication patterns. Conclusion. Dog body language represents a rich, complex communication system that offers constant insights into our canine companions' emotional lives. By learning to read these signals accurately and respond appropriately, we can build deeper, more satisfying relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. This understanding requires ongoing attention and learning, as each dog is an individual with their own communication style and needs. The investment in learning this silent language pays dividends in improved relationships, better behavior, and enhanced quality of life for both dogs and humans. The conversation between humans and dogs continues to evolve, with each generation of both species developing new ways to communicate and understand each other. By honoring the complexity and validity of canine communication, we participate in this ongoing dialogue and contribute to the remarkable partnership that has flourished for thousands of years.